This is the plaintiff, Andrew Tull. He says he was hired to renovate the defendant's body shop garage, and the guy stiffened him and his assistant. When he saw him at a funeral, he politely asked where his money was. The guy flipped out. The cops were called, and now 18 months later, here they are. He's suing for $1,800, the amount he earned and is owed. This is the defendant, Albert Buccini. He says he paid the plaintiff 5 checks totaling over $3,000 for his work, but the guy kept asking for more and more in an attempt to take advantage of him. That's right, he saw him as a cash cow and cornered him at his brother-in-law's funeral, for God's sakes, demanding more money. Who does that? Bottom line, he paid the plaintiff more than enough for the subpar work he did, and that's all he's gonna get. He's accused of refusing further payment.
All parties, please raise your right hands.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff was hired to help renovate the defendant's body shop and got stiffed. But the defendant says the plaintiff was hammering him for way too much, even demanding money at a funeral. It's the case of, I won't rest in peace until you pay me.
Thank you, Douglas.
Welcome,
Andrew Tull, A&T Renovations. You are suing Albert Buccini for $1,800 that you say he owes you for work that was done and completed, but that he never paid you for it. Tell me about that.
Yes, Your Honor. Yes, I was contracted by Al to do some work at a body shop that he owned. He was going to have his nephew renovate to work in the body shop. He had me do work at my hourly rate with another employee of mine.
Okay, how did he have you do the work? Did you guys have a contract?
Verbal contract.
Okay, and verbally, what did he say he would pay you?
He would pay me $35 an hour, and my employee would be $20 an hour.
Okay, and then what was the work he was asking you to do?
Well, what we did was we power washed the body shop completely.
Okay.
We started to paint the body shop. We painted 90%.
You started to paint. How far along did you get?
90% of it.
Okay.
There was a leak in the roof under the air conditioning condenser. I fixed all of the roof except for that.
How did you, when you say fix the roof, what does that mean?
I put down a torch down rubber modified roof.
Okay.
Underneath the air conditioning condenser was another source of the leak that I couldn't fix until the air conditioning condenser was removed.
Okay.
So Al found someone to rent the property and canceled all the work.
But did you now tell me everything that you'd done? If there's anything else, tell me about it.
No, that was it. I tore out a rug that Al said he didn't want torn out. He had someone come in to rent to work at the space for him.
You tore out a rug that he didn't want torn?
Yeah, it was an old rug in the office. He thought it was a good rug, and then someone came in that was going to run the body shop for him. He wanted the rug torn out because he was going to move into that area, and you said it's his bedroom and his office.
Okay.
So he asked for me to rip it out. Al said whatever he wanted me to do to take care of. So
and then later got mad that the rug got discarded? Okay,
yeah,
so go on.
It was a 30-year-old rug. It was no good. Okay. So everything fizzled out, and he wanted me to...
How much did he pay you?
It was about $4,000 or so.
And how did he pay you that $4,000 over in one
checks.
Payment and different payments?
Several checks.
How many checks?
About 5.
About 5?
Yes.
So how is it that you would get paid? What was the custom? You would submit an hourly?
Yes. I would submit my hours to Al, and he would pay me. Okay. And then he paid me less than I had on the estimate or for the invoice, and then finally he just stopped paying.
He gave you, well, let me hear from you. Mr. Buccini, why is it, according to him, you still owe him $1,800?
Your Honor, I met Mr. Tull. I was introduced to him by my nephew. Mr. Tull is a personal friend of my nephew. I had a tenant move out.
Okay.
Tenant move out. And and all I wanted was the building painted inside and outside, right? And some leak work repaired to the roof. Told him not to do any demolition work to the rugs or in the main office because I could shampoo them, I could make them work for the next person to come in. Mr. Tull informed me other people were telling him to do this and that. I said, look,
Who were those other people that told you what to do?
I don't recall his name. He was the person that where Chris hired to run the body shop.
Okay. Do you know who he's talking about?
I don't know his name. Yes.
Well, that guy was giving orders and appeared to have your apparent authority to do so because he's there and you're not.
I told him specifically, do not use, I'm paying for it. Nobody tells you to do anything here but me. I told him, do not.
He says you specifically told him the opposite of that you told him, here's your guy,
No, I told him, do not.
So in any event, tell me what happens.
Well,
Why do you stop paying him?
The work was substandard.
How so?
The pay, he's billing me hourly. I didn't know that. I said, what's taking so
Well,
long?
what did you think he was going to bill you? The 5 checks you wrote him were just like that, right?
But he never defined it. I kept asking
He
him.
never what?
Never defined it. I kept asking him for paperwork.
Well, then why do you keep paying him?
Well, I stopped paying him. That's why I stopped.
No, why did you pay him 5 times? If that didn't work
He
for
insisted
you...
on getting it. The work was half done. I had to get it rented. I can't feed my family without the income.
Okay, so you kept having him work for you under this manner for 5 full checks, right?
5 checks.
Right. So in other words, when the first time that he presented you with something, you didn't say, well, what is this? I can't do business like this. You can do business like this, and you did do business like this. Now, apparently at the end, the last check he gives you is for how much?
Yes, Your Honor. I have a copy of the check here. The last check that he gave me was for $300. The balance in the notation section, he wrote $2,100 minus $300, $1,800 balance.
Let me see that. All right. And you cashed that check?
Yes.
And that was how long ago?
The date is on there. It was many months ago.
February of last year. And what's happened since then?
Well, I was sympathetic, Your Honor. I told the defendant, I told him whenever he can, if money's tight, I understand. Then he just stopped paying. He stopped answering my calls. I called, I texted, some of them nasty. He called the police on me. I did.
Some of your texts were nasty?
Yes.
Why? What'd you say?
Well,
Who's the person next to you?
This is my daughter.
Ah, jeez.
Ashley.
How old is your daughter?
She's 13.
Well, I don't know what nasty thing came out of your fingers, but can your daughter hear it?
Yes.
Yeah, maybe every time we text, we should think our daughter's going to hear it. So go ahead. What was it? He's got him at the ready. He's dying to show it. Let me see him. No, you can stay where you are. Just get him up.
I was nasty.
So if somebody is just harassing you, does that ever justify just not paying the loan?
You got to pay the loan. If you borrow it, you got to pay it back.
But if they are just unrelenting with you, can you say, you cross the line, I'm not paying?
No, you got to pay it.
That's simple, huh? Going inside the courtroom.
The first text message was sent to me at 3:57 a.m. Can we talk?
He's losing sleep over it. You cheap male body part. I could tell you were a piece of blank when I first met you. Couldn't run out of that funeral fast enough to avoid me. I hope I blanking ruined your day, you blank. Ha ha ha. Blank. Well, now, this is like every minute. You are losing sleep over this.
Not my best moment, Your Honor.
Your Honor.
Okay, I'll say it's not. But tell me about the funeral.
Well, Chris, his nephew, is a very close friend, and I went to pay honor to his father. Al was there, and I saw Al, and I shook his hand. I quietly leaned in and said, when are we going to be able to settle this? And he raised his voice so everybody could hear, you're going to pick a fight with me at a funeral? And then, everybody turned, and he walked out, and I followed him out.
And what happened when you followed him out?
I told him that you still owe me money, and he said, you're going to have to sue me in court.
Well, now you have your excuse not to pay me. That's all you were looking for. That's what you were waiting for. I know you're kind, you cheap blank. That's why you're a loser with an ugly blanking wife. Did you really say that?
Yeah, well, she cursed me out when I saw
So
Chris.
what? What kind of thing is that to say?
It's nasty. It's very
It
nasty.
is nasty. It's deplorable in front of your 13-year-old that I'd be reading this out loud.
I'm ashamed of myself.
Call the police again, you cheap. What happened with the police?
He called the police after I confronted him at the funeral and told them that I made a big stink at the funeral.
Tell me what happened with that.
Well, I went to see my sister, and after that, I went to the police department. And I called my attorney. There's a letter in there from my attorney. And apparently, Mr. Toll has a history of this and was on probation for similar types of behavior.
Okay, stop. Apparently, he has a history of this and is on probation for a similar thing. What were you on probation for?
It's not similar. It was.
I'll be the judge of that. What were you on probation for?
It was road rage.
Road rage?
Yes.
It's very similar.
Yeah.
It actually is very similar. What happened with the road rage?
Well, someone cut us off, and I jumped out and screamed at him and grabbed him, and the police were right there.
You can't do that.
I never touched
You
Al.
need to have some anger management.
I did.
When you say we, who's we?
My brother was with me at the time.
Who was with you? Okay.
Yeah. But I never touched Al. I never threatened him whatsoever.
Just look at the text.
Why is
Ron.
there a check that says, why did you write a check that said $2,100 minus $300, $1,800 balance? That was the last check you wrote him.
Well, that was the dollars he came up with. I was trying to compare what he actually did and what he was billing. There was no time left over. I wanted to audit the photographs.
Let's see the photographs. Are they in evidence already?
I also have,
Hold on. Okay. So what's this a picture of?
So up the top, it's not painted. The top of the building's not, he charged me for that, it's not painted.
He had said that he did 90% of the paint. What's this a picture of?
Office that he did demolition work I didn't authorize. I told him not to do it, and he tore out rugs,
Okay,
carpeting.
listen, the guy's not going to do it for sport. Somebody's telling him to do it while he's
Well,
there.
I didn't.
You're not there, then don't put somebody else in charge. What's this a picture of?
Outside paint work that he didn't do. He was supposed
Okay,
to
but
do.
see, here's the thing, sir. This would be fine if you hired him once, looked at the work, and were shocked and appalled and didn't pay him, and then this was your defense. The problem I have is you are clearly paying him. You've paid him 5 times for work he did. So you felt 5 times, not once, not twice, not 3 times, and not 4 times, but 5 times that he'd earned his keep. So if it's good enough for you, it's good enough for me. I find that you owe him $1,800 just like you said you did, and I'm ordering you to pay the plaintiff $1,800 plus his court costs. And listen to me.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Try to comport yourself like a grown man as opposed to a child, okay?
understand. Thank you,
You know,
ma'am.
just pretend your daughter's watching you at every turn.
She is.
Keep an eye on him.
Thanks, Your Honor.
Well, the plaintiff convinces the judge that he deserves the $1,800 and he gets it.
And he
Mr.
gets
Bassini,
the-
what do you think?
Well, it's justice be done, and so be it. I respect the court. I respect her opinion. I disagree.
You do? Okay, good.
but
All right.
so be it. I disagree.
But you're going to pay.
I accept it.
Okay, all right, very good. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Okay. All right, Mr. Tull. I got to ask you, are you a little embarrassed
Yes,
about having
a little
those
bit.
messages read in the trial?
I knew it would come out.
You did?
Yeah, she knows her dad.
She knows her dad.
I'm
huh?
tough.
Don't follow his example.
No, I told her that too.
You did?
I said, don't be like me.
You feel better now that you won?
I do.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you.
You must sign a few documents on your way out of the courtroom. Harvey?
Well, I'll make it as quick as them. Harassment is never a defense to repaying a loan.